I was just getting off my shift at the warehouse, hands still sore from lifting pallets all night. It was a Friday, close to midnight, and I figured I'd shoot a quick text to my fiancée, Tasha. She said she was out at her cousin's cabin with her girls, doing a quiet bachelorette weekend. Movies, wine, face masks, that kind of thing. Phone buzzed before I could even type. Snapchat. Not a DM, a public story. Caption, last night of freedom. First pic hit like a hammer. Tasha, in a tight black dress, straddling some dude's lap in what looked like a dive bar. His hands were all over her hips. She was kissing his neck. I stared at it for a second too long, trying to figure out if it was some kind of joke. Then the next story loaded. She was bent over, twerking on him. Her friends in the background were hyping it up, phones out, drinks in hand. One was yelling, "That's the bride." Next one, dude's doing body shots off her stomach. She's laughing, arms stretched out like she's on stage. And the final one, her making out with him full on, his hand completely under her skirt. And she wasn't stopping him. I sat on the edge of my bed, heart pounding, face burning. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I took screenshots of every single snap. All of it. My hands were shaking, but I wasn't crying. I wasn't even mad yet, just numb. Then I tapped on the little comment bubble under her story. She'd left replies on for everyone. I typed, "First night of freedom, actually." Posted it. Then I went to Facebook, changed my relationship status to single, and tagged her mom's boyfriend, Marcus, the one who paid for our venue, catering, and half the honeymoon. My phone lit up like a Christmas tree within 5 minutes. Calls, messages, notifications exploding. A few of her friends were already deleting their comments under her story. But it was too late. The internet doesn't forget. Quick note, before we go on, tell me what city or country you're watching from. I didn't answer any calls, just tossed my phone on the counter, grabbed a beer, and sat down on the couch in silence. Outside, it started to rain. Inside, I was wide awake, not sad, not heartbroken, ready. I must have knocked out on the couch around 2 a.m. I didn't even bother turning the lights off. Phone still buzzing every few minutes on the floor. I let it die. Next morning, not even 8 a.m., there's this non-stop pounding on my door like someone's trying to break it down. I drag myself up, still in my work jeans, head pounding worse than a hangover. I open the door and there they are. Tasha, puffy-eyed, makeup smeared halfway to her neck, hair a mess. Carla, her mom, fully dressed like she's ready for church, face twisted with rage. "You heartless little bastard," Carla snapped, pushing past me like it was her house. "How dare you humiliate my daughter like that in front of the whole internet?" Tasha stumbled in behind her, sniffling, barely able to look at me. "You didn't have to post that," she said, voice low like I was the problem. "You could have just talked to me." I closed the door behind them and leaned against it. "You posted it. I just reacted." "You could have called me," she screamed. "You don't know what happened. That was nothing." I grabbed my phone off the counter, plugged it in, and waited for it to power up. "You want to play that game? Fine, let's look." A few seconds later, I pulled up the screenshots, held the phone out. First photo, her grinding on that dude in the bar. Carla scoffed, arms crossed. "That's just dancing. This is her bachelorette. Girls get a little wild." Next, I swiped. The body shot photo. Carla's smirk twitched. Then I showed them the last one. The one with the guy's hand clearly up under her dress while she's making out with him like it's prom night. Carla froze. Tasha looked down. "You embarrassed yourself," I said. "I just let the truth speak." Tasha went from teary to angry real quick. "You're gonna throw everything away over one stupid night? Our whole relationship." I laughed, bitter. "You threw it away. I just took out the trash." "You don't get it," Carla snapped. "The wedding is next week. Everything's already paid for. Venue, food, dress, DJ. You know how many people are flying in. I didn't pay for it." I pointed at Tasha. She begged Marcus to fund it, said it'd mean the world to her. Guess what? He knows now. Tasha's jaw dropped. "You told him?" I shrugged. "I tagged him. That's all it took." "You can't back out now," Tasha said, voice cold, face hardening. "Everyone will think I got dumped." "Because you did." Carla lost it. "So what? You just blow up our lives over some bar pics? You think you're some saint? Like you've never made a mistake. Not the kind where I climb into another guy's lap and call it self-expression." Silence. Tasha stepped closer. "You really gonna let a couple pictures end us?" I stared her down. "You made your choice in public. I'm just matching your energy." Carla turned to her daughter. "I told you not to post it." "God, you're so damn reckless." That set Tasha off again. "Oh, now it's my fault you raised a man who can't handle a real woman?" Stop, I said. Just stop. I opened the front door again. We're done. Go plan whatever fake wedding shoot you want. Just leave me out of it. Carla gave me a glare like I just kicked her dog. You're heartless. I held her stare. And you're delusional if you think I'm still walking down that aisle. She grabbed Tasha by the arm. Come on, we don't beg trash. Tasha didn't move. You'll regret this. You think you're winning right now, but you'll see. I didn't say a word, just shut the door behind them, and for the first time in days, silence. I didn't feel proud. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt clear. No more pretending. No more future built on lies. Just me, an empty apartment, and one long-ass week ahead. By noon that same day, I was heating up leftover pizza and scrolling on my phone when my buddy Derek texted, "Bro, Channel 8, turn it on right now." I grabbed the remote, flipped to the station, and there she was, Tasha, sitting on a couch in some sad little studio setup, wearing a beige cardigan like she was on Dr. Phil, no makeup, hair pulled back, voice trembling just enough to seem rehearsed. The headline under her face read, "Groom's petty revenge ruins bride's life." I stood there halfway through a bite of crust, just watching. "I just wanted a fun night with my girls," she said to the reporter, blinking like she was trying to cry but nothing came out. I didn't even think he'd see it. He could have just talked to me. But instead he weaponized social media to destroy me. Weaponized? The reporter nodded like she was interviewing a cancer survivor. "And you two were supposed to be married this weekend?" Tasha sighed, clutching a tissue like it was a damn Oscar performance. "We had everything planned. I gave him 3 years of my life, and he couldn't handle one night of harmless fun. I wasn't even mad, I was impressed. Girl could have won a daytime Emmy." Then the comments started rolling in. They posted the segment to Channel 8's Facebook page, and at first it was full of sympathy. Middle-aged moms tagging their daughters, saying things like, "This is why you don't trust men." But then someone, I still don't know who, dropped the full folder of screenshots. My screenshots. One by one, people started sharing them. They'd already gone viral in a private Facebook group called Real Talk Cincinnati, and now they were everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, Instagram Reels. The tone flipped fast. People started roasting the station. One comment had over 10,000 likes. "He didn't ruin her life. She broadcasted it live." Then the twist no one saw coming, Barry, the guy from the bar. He was married. His wife saw the segment, recognized him instantly, and she had receipts. She posted texts between Tasha and Barry, along with a selfie they took together that same night. In the messages, Tasha told him I wasn't her real fiancé, said I was some rich guy paying for a wedding she didn't even want, that I was just a means to an end. It blew up. Hashtag Barry is married was trending by dinner time. Around 4, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I usually let unknown numbers go to voicemail, but something told me to pick up. "Hello, yeah, this is Marcus, Tasha's mom's boyfriend. First time we'd ever talked one-on-one. Just got off work," he said. "Can you tell me if what I saw online is real?" "Which part?" "The guy, the texts, the photos, all of it." I texted him the folder. He was quiet for a full minute. Then he said, "I'm pulling every dollar back I can." That was the end of the call. Later that night, I was coming back from grabbing takeout when I saw a car I didn't recognize parked outside my building. Tasha was standing in the hallway with 3 of her friends, Kendra, Naomi, and Lexi. They blocked the way to my door. Kendra stepped forward first. "You're punishing her for exploring her sexuality." Lexi chimed in, arms folded. "It's 2024, not 1950. I didn't blink. She can explore anything she wants, just not while she's engaged to me." Then Tasha leaned in close and dropped it. "Take me back, or I'll say you hit me." Silence. Even her friends went still. Kendra stared at her like she'd grown a third eye. "You didn't just say that." I pulled my phone out and hit record. Didn't say a word. Tasha's eyes widened. She bolted. Naomi lingered behind. Her voice was low. "I told her not to post anything. Sorry, man." That night, Channel 8 ran a follow-up. Barry's wife went public. She had screenshots, photos, even a picture of the motel bill. The whole damn story flipped. And this time, no one was crying for the bride. I didn't move, didn't say a word, just stood there with my takeout bag in one hand and my phone in the other, still recording. Naomi was frozen. Kendra's jaw had dropped. Lexi looked like she wanted to disappear into the drywall. Tasha didn't wait around to explain herself. She turned and stormed down the hall like I'd slapped her, yelling something under her breath I didn't bother decoding. I ended the recording and stuffed the phone in my pocket. The 3 bridesmaids stood there like they didn't know what came next. Naomi finally broke the silence. "I told her not to post anything. she said soft. She wouldn't listen, said she was just blowing off steam. I didn't respond, just pushed past them and unlocked my door. You know this doesn't fix anything, right? Lexi said behind me. You still humiliated her. I turned back. Nah. She did that all by herself. They didn't follow me in. I shut the door and locked it. A couple hours later, the Channel 8 follow-up aired. Same anchor, same smug tone, but this time, they'd brought in Barry's wife. Her name was Alana. She didn't cry. She came with a folder full of evidence like she was ready to testify in court. I recognized my husband the second I saw the story, she said. And the second I saw the screenshots, I knew he wasn't just drunk. She laid out everything. Photos of Tasha and Barry at the bar. Screenshots of texts, full-on flirting weeks before the Bachelorette. A selfie of the two of them in a motel mirror. And yeah, the motel bill with both their names signed in. The anchor actually looked uncomfortable for once. We reached out to the bride for comment, she said at the end of the segment. She declined. Comments online were brutal. People who defended her 2 days ago were now calling her a liar, a manipulator, a cheater who got caught and played victim. Someone clipped the part where Tasha said I weaponized social media and overlaid it with her twerking on Barry. That one hit 500,000 views in under an hour. I didn't post. I didn't comment. I sat on my couch, ate my takeout cold, and watched everything burn down around her. By midnight, my inbox was full of people apologizing for calling me petty. A couple even offered to buy me drinks. Kendra and Lexi never messaged me again. Naomi, though, she sent one text. I'm sorry. I didn't reply. Not yet. I was still trying to process that Tasha, the woman I was going to marry, had stood in my hallway and said she'd lie about me hitting her just to get me back. And not one of her friends jumped in to stop her. Only Kendra whispered, you didn't just say that, but none of them pulled her aside. None of them shut it down. They let her say it, like it was normal, like it was a move. That was the real moment it all snapped into place. Not the cheating, not the bar photos, not even the texts to Barry. It was her threat. She was never sorry. She was scared. Scared of how bad she'd lost. 2 days later, someone sent me a link to a GoFundMe. Help save my special day broken heart. The profile pic was Tasha in her wedding dress, holding a bouquet in front of a mirror. The description was a full-blown essay. Hi, my name is Tasha. My fiancé cruelly canceled our wedding after 3 beautiful years together, leaving me with debt, shame, and no support. I deserve my happy ending. Please help. It raised $47 in 3 days. One donation was from someone named Karen, not that one, who commented, men are trash, but this ain't it. She didn't stop there. A few days after that, I started hearing rumors she was telling people I owed her 3 years of emotional investment. 50 grand, apparently. That was the number she came up with. $50,000 for the time she wasted loving me. Then it got worse. My boss called me into his office, dropped a printed email on the table. She sent this to HR, he said. Figured I'd give you a heads up since I saw the Channel 8 segment. The subject line was, urgent harassment report. She accused me of stalking her, hacking her accounts, sending threats, even claimed I tried to blackball her from future weddings. My boss looked at me and shook his head. She's unhinged. Don't worry, I already forwarded this to legal. Just keep doing your job. I thanked him and went back to work. But by Friday night, it hit a new low. I got a call from my apartment manager. Hey, you need to come down. We've had an incident. I headed downstairs, and right there in the lobby were 2 cops, the night manager and Tasha, standing next to a dude holding a crowbar like it was a magic wand. I'm her locksmith, he said. No, you're not, I said. That's when one of the officers turned to me. You live in Unit 3C? Yeah. He nodded. She said you locked her out of her apartment. I just looked at her. You don't live here. You've never lived here. What is this? She left stuff, the guy mumbled. I recognized him then. Earl, her cousin. Turns out she told the building she forgot her keys, and Earl pretended to be a locksmith. But what actually happened? One of my neighbors heard banging and saw him trying to pry the lock open with a damn crowbar. I pressed charges. At the station, Tasha gave them 3 different stories in under an hour. First, she said I stole from her. Then she said she lived with me and had legal access. Last one, she claimed Earl had broken in without her knowing. Earl cracked first. Told them she offered him $500 if he could get her 1 bag. The officer just stared at her like she was made of smoke. I signed the paperwork and went home. Next morning, Carla, her mom, went on Facebook and posted a long rant about how I betrayed the family and how I never really loved Tasha. I didn't bother arguing. I just commented once, I'm not part of your family anymore. That was it. No follow-up, no phone calls, just silence. And damn, it felt good. I didn't hear anything from Naomi until Monday. She texted me, real short, "Wanna grab coffee? No drama. Just wanna talk." I agreed. We met up at a Starbucks near my job. She looked tired, no makeup, hair in a bun. Not the loud, smug version of her I remembered from the hallway. We sat outside. She didn't waste time. "Tasha hooked up with my boyfriend 2 years ago," she said. "We were together 6 months. She lied about it for 3. I blinked. "Why'd you stay friends with her?" She shrugged. "Didn't really. It's just hard when your whole group's tied to one person." "Why tell me now?" She looked me dead in the eye. "Because she's spiraling, and she doesn't care who she takes down with her." That hit. She told me other stuff too. That Tasha used to flirt with guys in front of their girlfriends just to test the room. That she'd screenshot texts out of context and threaten to leak them if someone crossed her. I nodded. Yeah, that tracks. While we were sitting there, I got a DM on Instagram from Alana, Barry's wife. "Hey, I think we should talk. I want to build a case. Do you have everything saved?" I told her yes. Sent her the folder with screenshots, timestamps, everything I had from the bachelorette night and after. She thanked me and said she'd be in touch. That was Tuesday. Friday came, and I was at work like usual, helping unload a shipment when my manager's radio went off. We've got a situation in the front lobby." Next thing I know, one of the forklift guys comes running into the warehouse, nearly choking from laughing. "Dude, your ex is here. In a wedding dress." I thought he was joking until I walked up front, and there she was, full white gown, veil on, makeup running, bouquet in her hand, sobbing like she just walked out of a soap opera. "Tasha," I said, standing behind the front counter. "What the hell are you doing?" She didn't even look at me, just started yelling at the security guard. "He loves me. He's scared. That's all. We're supposed to get married tomorrow." People were pulling their phones out, recording from every angle. Even the janitor was filming. Security finally got her out after 5 minutes of pure chaos. But not before she threw the bouquet at the glass door and screamed, "You're marrying me whether you like it or not." By lunch, the TikTok video had 2.3 million views. By dinner, it was on Reddit. My coworkers were dying. "Bro, you can't write this kind of drama," one of them said, watching it on loop. "She really wore the dress. To your job." The comments were brutal. "Real-life Lifetime movie. This man better have full security at his next date. This is why men die first. Stress." Even people who didn't know me were defending me now. One girl posted, "If I was him, I'd leave the state." As for Barry, he got kicked out. Alana tossed his clothes in trash bags and left them on the lawn. He's crashing in his brother's garage, according to a mutual. No wife, no side chick, no peace. Meanwhile, Tasha was still out there texting him. Alana sent me screenshots. The last message from Tasha just said, "You were the only one who understood me." Nah, he didn't understand her. He was just dumb enough to believe the lie while it felt good. Saturday rolled in gray and cold. I slept in, didn't even bother checking my phone until noon. No alerts, no drama, just quiet. I made coffee, fed myself, and started planning what to do with the weekend. Then around 1, my phone lit up. 3 texts. 2 missed calls. One from a venue staffer I vaguely remembered, Stephanie, I think. The other 2 from Derek. I called Derek back. "Bro," he said, out of breath like he'd just run a mile. "You are not gonna believe this." "What now?" I asked. She showed up at the venue, alone, in the dress, with a FNG photographer. I blinked. Wait, like she's doing the wedding? By herself, man. She walked down the aisle solo, did a first dance, a toast, to no one. One of the waiters filmed her giving a speech to empty chairs. Couldn't even respond. I just rubbed my face and leaned back in my chair. "She's doing a whole photo shoot like it's real," he said. "Photographer's some local dude she hired last minute. Venue staff are so uncomfortable they called Marcus." That made me sit up. Marcus went. Yeah, I heard he's already on his way. 10 minutes later, Derek texted again. "He's there. Shit's going down." According to the staffer who later messaged me, Marcus walked in just as she was slow dancing with no one. The music was playing from a Bluetooth speaker. She was holding her arms out like she was spinning with a ghost. He stood there, watching for a few seconds, before finally saying loud enough for everyone to hear, "This is disgusting." Tasha snapped around and screamed back, "You never supported me. You never believed in what I wanted." Marcus didn't argue, didn't yell. He just looked at her one last time and walked out, left her standing there in the middle of the rented hall, slow songs still playing in the background. The caterers ended up donating all the food to a local shelter. The cake got cut up and passed around to the staff. And the photographer? He posted 4 shots to his business page later that night. Caption read, "Bride hired me. No groom showed. Most bizarre shoot ever." The photos blew up. The one that really took off was her standing in the aisle, arms raised like she was greeting a crowd, even though the pews were completely empty. Second most viral? The slow dance, her spinning in a circle, eyes closed, smiling at nothing. People called it sad. Some called it psychotic. One guy said it looked like a trailer for a horror movie. I didn't comment, didn't repost. I just watched quietly as the last thread snapped. She could fake a wedding, but she couldn't fake that no one showed up. Monday morning, we were both in court. Tasha wore a beige turtleneck and glasses like she was playing the misunderstood librarian in a Lifetime movie. She sat between 2 lawyers I'm guessing were court-appointed, trying to look fragile. The judge didn't buy it for a second. She pled down to trespassing, avoided the felony but still got hit with a fine, 80 hours of community service, and, the best part, a 2-year restraining order. Her lawyer tried floating the emotional breakdown angle, even threw in the word trauma like seasoning. The judge leaned forward and said, deadpan, "Crowbars aren't therapy tools." I had to fight not to laugh. Outside the courtroom, I ran into Alana, Barry's wife. She was there for her own restraining order hearing. Apparently, Tasha had been driving past their house at night, circling the block with her headlights off. Barry finally told his wife after she found tire tracks in the backyard. Alana got the order, no problem. The motel receipts sealed it. Turns out Tasha and Barry had been messing around weeks before the bachelorette. Like well before. 3 different motels, 6 visits total. Alana handed a copy of the receipts to the clerk with the same cold energy as someone submitting an invoice. That's when Marcus found out. I wasn't there, but Derek told me later that Marcus saw the wedding credit card bill come through and spotted charges for the motel. One was dated the same weekend they'd gone venue shopping. He went off, filed for divorce that same week, said it was the last straw. Tasha had lied to his face, scammed him out of thousands, used his card to cheat, and Carla still had the nerve to call him the traitor. "You're abandoning our daughter when she needs you most," she said. Marcus didn't even blink. "No," he told her. "I'm walking away from the mess you raised." Carla took to Facebook again, of course, said Marcus had always been cold, emotionally unavailable, blah blah blah. Nobody bought it this time. Not after the photos, not after the court hearing, and definitely not after the footage of Tasha's solo wedding shoot made it onto morning talk shows. Marcus moved out by the end of the month, took his name off the joint account, froze the wedding funds. Tasha tried texting me again. One line, "You happy now?" I didn't answer. Just forwarded it to my lawyer and deleted the thread. She could keep spinning, keep blaming, keep spiraling. But now the paper trail had caught up to her. And for once, I wasn't the one being dragged into the mud. A month later, I moved out of that apartment and into a place across town. Quieter, better neighbors, and no shared walls. I didn't even bother hiring movers. Just me, my cousin's truck, and the kind of silence you only get after cutting all the noise out of your life. First thing I did after unpacking? Got a dog. Walked into the shelter, saw this big-ass gray pit bull staring at me like we already had history. No barking, no whining, just waiting. His name was Dozer. I signed the papers right there. He followed me around like a shadow from day one. Loyal, calm, didn't judge me for anything. Hell, he even snored like a grown man. I got back into boxing too. There's a gym 5 blocks from my new place, small, old school. No frills. Perfect. Tasha always hated it. Said the gloves smelled like cheap sweat and broken dreams. Now I hit the bag 3 times a week. Clears my head. Makes me feel solid again. One Thursday night, I stopped at a diner after the gym. Sat down at the counter, ordered a burger, and heard someone say my name. It was Marcus. He slid onto the stool next to me. We stared at each other for a second, then both started laughing. "God," he said, shaking his head. "What a circus. Glad you got out," I told him. He nodded. "You too." Then he hit me with it. "I was planning to surprise you two with a house. Wedding gift, paid in full." I sat back, stunned. "You're kidding." "Nope. Found a place up near Mason. Big yard, quiet street. I was gonna hand you the keys at the rehearsal dinner." We both started laughing again. Not the good kind, the exhausted, thank God it's over kind. "I dodged a mortgage," I said. "You dodged a life sentence," he shot back. We talked for a while, didn't say goodbye, just nodded and went back to our lives. Naomi and I kept in touch, grabbed coffee once or twice. She's chill when she's not orbiting the Tasha drama. Said she started therapy too. Doesn't trust people the same way anymore. Can't blame her. One afternoon, I got a random text from Tasha. Just one line. I'm in therapy now. I forwarded it to my lawyer. Didn't even open the thread. Last I heard, she's dating some gym bro with tribal tattoos and a motivational podcast. Guy told a mutual friend I was just intimidated by her energy. Okay, bro, good luck with that. Barry ended up divorced. Alana didn't waste time. Packed his stuff, changed the locks, and filed everything within 2 weeks. Tasha ghosted him too. Guy's been posting self-reflection quotes on Instagram like he just discovered consequences. As for me, life's peaceful. I got promoted last month. Took the money I got back from the canceled ring and built a new gaming setup. Dual monitors, custom keyboard, RGB everything. Sometimes I think about how deep I was in wedding planning, guest lists, cake tastings, the whole future. No regrets, though. Not anymore. Except maybe not walking away sooner. But I'm here now. Me, my sanity, and a pit bull named Dozer who's snoring like a freight train on my couch. That's all I need. A few weeks back, Channel 8 ran one last segment. Where are they now? I guess the chaos made enough noise to be worth a follow-up. This time, they wanted my side. No cardigan, no tears, just the guy who walked away. They came by with a mic, a tiny camera crew, and a producer who kept asking if I was ready to tell my truth. I didn't get dramatic, didn't rehearse anything. I sat down in my living room, Dozer asleep at my feet, looked into the camera and said, "Caught her cheating, left, that's all." They asked if I'd do anything differently. I said, yeah. Should have dipped when she flirted with a waiter at her sister's wedding. Didn't make the final cut. Figures. The segment went live the next evening. It was short, maybe 5 minutes. They clipped together a couple lines, showed some of the old wedding photos, flashed the viral TikToks, wrapped it up neat. That's when Tasha tried suing the station for defamation. Said the whole thing was a targeted smear campaign that painted her as unstable. She lost. Now she owes them legal fees on top of everything else. She works retail now. I heard she's at some clothing store in the mall, still telling people I ruined her life and stole her future. People like that never learn. They just find new victims and repeat the same cycle until somebody finally calls it what it is. Me? I'm good. I've got a dog who doesn't lie to my face, a job that doesn't suck, and my peace. No fake weddings, no midnight crying fits in ball gowns, no more threats, drama, or group chats exploding at 3 a.m. It's not perfect, but it's real. And after everything, that's all I ever wanted. Thanks for reading. I'm off to walk Dozer. And no, I didn't invite Tasha.